Ed Ward was one of the first editors at Rolling Stone, the first West Coast editor at Cream, the book review editor at Francis Ford Coppola's City magazine, rock historian on NPR, and friend and associate to all sorts of really cool people, musicians, of course, but also, for just one example, the Ant Farm, who gave the world the buried cars of the Cadillac Ranch in Texas. Ed Ward gave me my start in writing, or should I say, taught me how to write a professional magazine story, and then gave me my first assignments. He also gave me my start in good food, that is, eating his locally sourced gourmet cooking, and educated me about music, the truly deep and timeless cuts, when I thought, as a pretty good rock singer, I was an expert. And for the year we lived blocks apart in Sausalito, we became good friends, a couple of lonely 20-something bachelors, until we became a trio when Ed introduced me to John Morthland, who came to dinner at Ed's as regularly as I did, and not too much later left to be editor of Cream, and hired me. Without Ed, I'm not sure what I might have made of my life. Something different, and maybe a lot less fun. Over the decades, I kept up with him, loyally if spottily. Last saw him 5 years ago in Austin, where he was living, at John Morthland's wake. I wrote about Ed in my novel Loudmouth, changed the name so he didn't get any more pissed off than he often was, and displaced it to New York to simplify a meandering plot. So, here's the chopped, fictionalized, but more or less factual version of my early experiences with my friend, the great, and now, alas, late, Ed Ward. He was tall and hulking in a black cowboy hat with silver hatband, black cowboy boots, snap-button shirt, and dirty blue jeans. His hair was black and oily and lank down to his shoulders. His eyes were frosty blue. Beneath his snaggletooth sneer was a black goatee that came to a satanic point. More than a lost cowboy, he was a lost Hell's Angel, and certainly not a middle-class Oberlin, really Antioch, grad out of New Rochelle, really Eastchester. I was now on the hunt for my residential destiny, a place to live that wasn't fucking tigers. Generally, in my range, there was nothing. Sometimes I'd spend an hour or two wandering, eyes mostly open, but on a side street in the Way East Village, or, in reality, Sausalito, I nearly missed the low-hanging sign, for rent, 1BR, basement. As I trotted toward the entrance, a biker type carrying a cardboard box clomped in from the right. "Forget it," Ted bellowed. "I got it." I don't know why I asked if I could see the place anyway, but then, with my bank account, it was all just make-believe. Ted allowed I could peek, but don't get any ideas. Long before he turned into a curmudgeon, Ted Hall was an asshole. Inside the living room that was almost too low for his high-crowned hat, he now put down the box, revealing a lanyard with a press pass. "So," I said, surprised, pointing, "who do you write for?" He started with Rolling Stone, Esquire, Cream, and Life, and didn't stop for a while.